Yes, and welcome to Vasili's Garden. Folks, it's the afternoon, the day after we done the test in the afternoon. That was yesterday, and we gave you the results. And I said today we were going to do a test in the middle of the day, approximately, to see what the temperature is while the sun is shining on this potting mix bag. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the trial that we have going on here. All because we're concerned whether the trial itself is going to be skewed by the colour of the bags that we have here. And pretty much that's it. So we took the liberty of doing the testing today. Now, I wasn't here because I've been out all day. I've had appointments to go to, but my trusty camera operator there, who's holding the one now, pointing it at me, came out here and did the test for me. So unbiased and non-biased test, and very accurate. In fact, he's done 3 tests. He'd done one and I've got the results here. We're going to learn this in real time. So it started at 1:52 p.m. Then the second trial was done at 2:20. So the first trial took him half an hour to go around, but then he went back and did a second reading, and we've taken the average or the mean between the first and the second reading. So let's not waste any more time and let's see what the results are. We're going to start over here. We've got Seasol. So the first reading was 14 to 15 degrees. And then the second reading at 2:20 came out at 18 degrees. So we've taken the average of that. We've taken it at 16. And also keep in mind that we took various readings from different positions on the bag. So for example, we took the north side reading over here. Then we also took a south side reading over here because the sun shines on this side here. And what we found out was, or my trusty testing guide found out, was that where the sun is shining on the soil, it's slightly warmer because it's not reflected by the bag. So slightly warmer here, and if it's behind the leaves over there, slightly cooler. But overall, we've taken an average of the temperature reading, and Seasol is 16 degrees. And the next one, Scott's Performance Naturals. The first reading was 12 to 13 degrees, and the second reading, again, was 12 to 13 degrees at various locations. Moving on, we go to Vasili's. Well, he's done 2 readings at 1:52. The first one was done around here, and that was 11 degrees, folks, 11. Now, apparently this little plant here was casting a bit of a shadow there, so he's taken a second reading on this side, and that came out to 14 degrees. Then later in the afternoon, well, 2:20, which was half an hour later or so, he's done various readings because he got a bit excited with my bag here. He's done 14, then 13 to 14, then 18. What the hell have you been doing here? 13, then 17. What does that tell you? The soil temperature will vary according to the positioning of the thermometer. Obviously, another thing to consider is the depth. So the closer you get to the soil below the bag, which is the earth, the cooler it's going to be. And if you're doing it in an open area where there's no plastic, and be it all this is clear, the soil temperature is going to be warmer on the surface than it is just below the surface. So the average after all those readings, 16 degrees. We move on. Garden Basics, Premium Potting Mix. The first reading 16 degrees, the second reading 18, 17, 18. So we took the average again, means on that was 16. So that's again 16. And we move on to the all-purpose. 14 to 15 the first reading, 17 to 18 the second reading. And the average is 16. Moving on. The Garden Basics Tomato and Veg, the average of that was 15 degrees. So I'm not going to go too many details. More importantly, the Rich Grow bag, because this is the controversial bag. It's black, it absorbs heat and all the other stuff that goes with it. Now, it is on the south end of this whole row, so maybe it's a little bit cooler. Maybe it's not. What do you reckon? Well, the readings. The first reading, 13 and 14 in one position. So he's moved it and done another one at the same time, 13 to 14. Then at 2:20, he's come back and done another reading, 13 to 14. And a second one, just in case, 14 to 15. So the average is 14 degrees. So that is not getting extra heat, being black. Maybe it's cooling down on the side, but what do you want me to do? Separate them all and space them out all over the place? At the end of the day, they're side by side. The wind generally blows from the north side there. The sun's shining from that direction. In fact, it's probably protected from the other bags as far as the wind's concerned. Let's move on. The Scott's Premium Potting Mix. The first reading, 14. Second reading, 13. 12 to 13. So we're working at 13 average. So that's a colder bag. Scott's Rose, the average, 13. And we're moving on. Scott's Tomato Vegetable, 12, the first reading, then the second one was 16, so we take the average on that was 14. Moving on, plus organics, tomato and vegetable. 14 first reading, 16 the second reading, the average is 15. Seeing a typical trend going on here, except for this one here. Scott's potty mix plus for organics. 12 was the first reading, 14 was the second reading, the average is 13. That's very low. And the Scott's Native, 13 and then 14, so we've given it the benefit of the doubt, 14 degrees. And then we hit the Yates one. The first reading, he's done 3 spots on this one. The first one was 22 degrees, that's high. The second one, so he's moved it to a different location, it was 15. And then the third reading, he's moved it to another spot, 14 degrees. So the average is 18. So Yates Premium Potty Mix works out to be 18 degrees. That's the hottest one so far. And most of the others, well, we range from 12 degrees being the Scott's one. And Scott seems to be the coolest of them all. And all the others are averaging about 16 degrees. 16 degrees. And some 14. So folks, my conclusion, because there was also one more test he's bothered to go and do, and that was to take the reading from the middle of the bag. And if you look closely, for example, here, there's a little hole. He's punctured a little hole in here to stick the thermometer in, to take a reading in there, and he's done the same with all the bags across there. And every single bag got a reading from the center of it. And the results were an average from 14 to up to 17 degrees. So if we take the average between those two, you've got about a 15 and a half degrees. So really a variance of about 2 degrees on average. 3, I won't say any more than 3, because there is a slight variance between the pots, and whether they're in bags or pots, and I said pots, but whether they're in bags or pots, if you take a reading on the north side of the pot where the sun shines on, it's going to be warmer than the south side of the pot. So let's just average it out to about 15 degrees, I reckon, is what we're getting across here. So, conclusion, my conclusion. The temperature is not so much the factor that we've got to consider here and worry about. Let's push that aside because we've done 2 tests so far, or multiple tests over the 2 recordings. More importantly, it's what's in the bag. This is what the trial's about, to understand the medium that's been mixed and placed in these bags and what they're promoting in each one of them. Are they living up to their standards? Are they giving you the results? And at the end, most importantly, are they nutritionally rich, the plants that is, you know, with the minerals and the vitamins that you expect to get out of a plant when you grow it in something that's classed organic. So we are going to do a bricks test, and we've beaten this one to death at the moment because we've done 2 videos in 2 days on the temperature reading. I hope that satisfies your curiosity. If it doesn't, go and do a trial on your own. Leave me out of it. I'm done with this one. No, I'm not, but do a trial on your own. I'm serious. Get that done and let me know about your results. Tell me your results as well, because we've all got different ways of doing it and everyone's microclimate is slightly different. And we can't focus on those little points. The overall average is what we're looking at, and it's the quality of the mix. I stand by my product, even though we had a little bit of discoloration. No shame in that. That's gone completely backwards, and that's a Scott's, and that's a $13.98 bag. All right, same pricing approximately. So that's meant to be top end of the scale. That's a $7.98 bag, and it's proving to be a better bag than that one there. You know, and if we go through the pricing, well, Yates is cheaper, and it goes on. But there are still other bags out there in the industry, and I dare say, if you're not using our planting mix, and if you can't get it, then go to your local garden centre and get some quality potting mix from there and ask them for the best, because you get what you pay for. Planting mix is available on our website and all good garden centres that are stocking it. There's only about 4 of them at the moment with the planting mix, but there's a huge array of stores across the states carrying all our other products that are available to you guys. And as I said before, take advantage of the discounted seed sales that we're having, because we all need to stock up and grow our own veggies from seed is the best way to do it. I haven't been here today, and I hope all my plants are well because we had another frost last night. They're all looking pretty good. The potatoes have seen better days, but we'll deal with them as the weather warms up. In the meantime, VasilisGarden.com is where you'll find everything you need every day at discounted prices. From me, Vasily, Maresi.